Good morning. It's Monday. It's Tuesday. It should be Monday, but today's Tuesday, the 16th, and it's time for your Monday morning mortgage update. The reason it's not Monday is because we had a 3-day weekend and the markets were closed yesterday. So I'm giving you your update on a Tuesday morning. Hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. I did. I got to go skiing, and the snow was out, and there was a lot of people at Mount Shasta Ski Park. Wherever you are, hopefully, if you like to ski, you had a great weekend doing it. So let's talk about what happened last week at the market, what's going to happen this week. I always try to give you tools, tips, tactics, information that you can use when you go and talk to your buyers and sellers and be more impactful in those conversations. So last week, flat, no change to the interest rates. We had inflation reports coming out last week that always moves interest rates or has the ability to. We had the PPI, which is the producer's price index, what businesses pay to buy stuff, and then the CPI, the consumer price index, what you and I pay to buy stuff. The PPI was weak, showing inflation down. That's good for rates, means rates go down. The CPI was up, meaning we're paying more for stuff. That's bad for rates. And then we had consumer debt. A report came out last week, the highest debt we've ever seen. You and I are charging stuff on credit cards more than ever, and that is good for rates because that shows a weaker economy. So all of this just kind of canceled everything out, and we saw no movement to rates. So what are we looking at this week? Couple things. Sales and debt, going to follow up with consumer debt. And will rates continue to get better? Two things are happening this week that are going to really give us some insight. So let's talk about sales and debt. Retail sales is this week, and we're going to see a report. And this really follows up with the consumer debt. So again, consumer debt is the highest it's ever been. It's over $1 trillion. And the last reports we've been getting over the last few months shows it's up, it's up, it's up. It's not going down. So are we as consumers buying more stuff, buying goods? That's going to mean we're buying stuff on the retail side. So if retail sales are up, that is a strong economy, bad for rates. And that means that we're charging stuff to buy stuff, okay? If retail sales are down, that means that high consumer debt is probably going toward living expenses and just paying our bills. And that's a weaker economy, and that will be better for rates. So this will be a very, very impactful reading on retail sales coming out tomorrow. The second thing is, will rates continue to get better? So I want to show you the charts so you can get some idea of really what the market's done. I show you this all the time. This is mortgage-backed securities, the trading of mortgage-backed securities in the bond market. Mortgage rates are determined by the trading of mortgage-backed securities in the bond market. When lenders quote rates every single morning, they look at this chart to give some insight about where the market's moving. And what you can see is since October of last year to the current date, we've seen improved money flowing into the bond market, which means rates are going down. Put in perspective, when we were down here at the end of October, rates were over 8%. Now we're in the low 7, high 6s, depending on the program and the product. What you can see, though, is since December 13th, the last Fed meeting of last year, the Fed came out at that meeting and they said, hey, we're probably going to hike rates in 2024. The bond traders really grabbed onto that, and their expectations are like 6 rate hikes this year in 2024. There's a lot of people that say that's not going to be that aggressive, but the bottom line is everybody kind of agrees with rate hikes. And so we saw rates improve, and then we've just seen rates trade really in a flat market. These little blips up and down of money flowing in and out is not impacting the rates in any significant way. So this week it could be a very impactful week on really what's happening with those rates. So let's talk about, will rates continue? So obviously they're trending lower. Are they just going to continue to go down? No, there's going to be blips, right? They're going to go up to go down, they're going to go up to go down, but everybody truly believes that over time they're going to get better. And what I know about mortgage rates is when they're up, they eventually come down, and when they're down, they eventually go up. We just don't know what that time frame looks like. And this week may give us some insight. So as I said, two things are really impacting if we're going to see rates get better moving long term. One is Davos, and that's the World Economic Forum that's in Switzerland. It's happening now. And the second is the Fed. So let's talk about Davos. All the world leaders and economists meet in Switzerland, and they talk about and have interviews and have speeches about really what they expect the economy to do moving forward. And everybody pays attention to what the U.S. economy is doing, obviously. So there's an expectation that we're going to have a soft landing with the U.S. economy, not a big, deep recession, a soft recession. And a lot of people think as many as 6 rate cuts. The Federal Reserve will cut rates 6 times in 2024. And that was the message that they gave us in December. But since then, there's a lot of voting Fed members that decide if we're going to cut rates that have backed off from that and said, hey, we're probably not going to cut rates that much, even if we cut them at all. So there's really a mixed message here. There's the bond traders that believe we're going to see these rate cuts, believe rates are going to get better. And then the Fed members are much more conservative. They're kind of walking back the initial message after that December meeting. So what is said at this meeting, this Economic World Forum conference this week, is going to be very impactful. The second thing is the Fed members, as I talked about, they've been kind of backing off from these big rate cuts from the Federal Reserve, but they're doing a lot of talking this week. The first Fed meeting is in 2 weeks. And 1 week before the Fed meeting, they can't talk. They can't say anything. So this is their week to get the message out on what they think is going to happen. These voting Fed members that are basically going to vote if we're going to have rate cuts, rate hikes, or just leave rates alone. Everybody believes moving at the beginning of the year, moving forward, rates will be left alone. No more rate hikes. The message really is, will we see more rate cuts? So we'll be paying a lot of attention starting Wednesday and Thursday to the message that comes out of Davos and all the Fed members when they talk. So we're starting today floating. The market's flat, really looking at what's going to happen Wednesday and Thursday, moving to a locking position if we think so, if we think it's going to move. If you know somebody can benefit from this video, please forward it to them. If you have any questions about rates and about locking, about your clients, if you don't think they're getting the best advice, I give this message out to you, but I'm also a mortgage broker and a banker, and I'd love to help you with your clients. Forward this to somebody that you think can benefit from this. Give me some comments if you have any insight or would like to see something different in my Monday morning update. Thank you so much for watching. Have a productive week, and we will see you soon. Bye.